Okay, let's jump right in. We're about to break down some really fascinating research on how to make your career way more secure, especially when the economy gets shaky. And while we're going to use Thailand as our main case study, believe me, the lessons here are for absolutely everyone.
So, feeling a little anxious about the economy? Yeah, you are definitely not alone. Just hearing the word recession can be pretty stressful. But what's interesting is that the research we're looking at today suggests that anxiety can actually be a good thing. It can be the fuel for some really smart, proactive planning.
It's so important to remember that these economic downturns, they're cyclical. They're kind of a natural part of the whole economic rhythm. Look at Thailand. They've navigated several huge ones just in the last 50 years, from oil shocks to the global financial crisis and, of course, the recent pandemic. And every single one offers some valuable lessons.
So here's our game plan for today. First, we're going to look at the specific fears the experts are seeing on the ground in Thailand. Then, we'll get into this really powerful core idea called shared responsibility and break down what that actually means for both employees and managers with two separate playbooks. And finally, we'll talk about how the real goal here isn't just to survive, but to come out of it even stronger.
All right, Section 1, Recession Fears. Now, the insights we're about to see come from 11 experts in Thailand with, get this, a combined 300 years of experience. So yeah, they've seen a thing or two, and they've flagged a few key challenges that are happening right now. So the first major concern is something called a skill mismatch. This slide really gets to the heart of it. There's this huge gap between the skills companies desperately need to survive. Things like digital literacy and adaptability, and the skills that many workers currently have.
Next up, employee turnover. Even when you'd think people would be holding on to their jobs, keeping good people is still a massive challenge. And the research points out something specific, that younger generations are really struggling with the pressure of the modern workplace, making them less likely to stick around in high-stress roles.
And this one is a fundamental roadblock. It's a resistance to learning and adapting. What the experts are seeing is that a lot of people are just kind of stuck in their old ways, in traditional patterns. And that makes it incredibly difficult for both them and their companies to pivot when the market inevitably changes.
So all of this brings us to Section 2, a shared responsibility. This is really the core idea of this whole explainer. The researchers are proposing a concept that completely reframes how we should all be thinking about an economic downturn.
And that concept is shared responsibility. It's not just a buzzword, it's a total mindset shift. It's where managers and employees stop seeing these problems as your problem or my problem and start working together. It's all about mutual understanding and a proactive effort to build a workplace that doesn't just survive a recession, but actually comes out of it stronger.
Okay, so let's get practical. Let's move to Section 3 and see how this whole idea works in the real world. We'll start with the employee's playbook. These are the actionable steps you can take to protect your own career.
I love this slide because it contrasts the common fear-based reactions with smarter, more strategic moves. It's so easy to just become passive or to panic, right? But the research is clear. The most effective approach is to show your value proactively, to constantly be learning new skills, and to focus on the things you can actually control.
And here is that playbook, broken down into 6 crystal clear steps. 1. Focus on what you can control. 2. Increase your visibility at work. 3. Make yourself indispensable. And at the same time, 4. Learn new skills. 5. Be a true team player. And 6. Keep that network sharp. These are the concrete actions that make you more valuable, period.
Now for the other half of that shared responsibility equation. Let's talk about Section 4, the manager's playbook. It's time to look at how effective leaders can really steer the ship through the storm.
For leaders, the playbook looks a bit different. It's about sustainable cost control, not just panicked random cuts. It's about using scenario planning to be ready for whatever comes next. And crucially, it's about investing in upskilling your current team and leading with transparency and empathy so you can hold on to your best people.
But this brings up a huge question, right? Should you just stop hiring completely? The knee-jerk reaction for so many companies is a total hiring freeze.
But the research actually suggests a much smarter approach. Hiring doesn't stop. It just becomes way more strategic. The focus shifts to filling those absolutely critical roles, the ones that drive revenue or support digital transformation. And honestly, a downturn can be a massive opportunity to hire top-tier talent that you might not have had a shot at before. And that brings us to our final section, Emerge Stronger. Because the ultimate goal here, it isn't just about hunkering down and waiting for the storm to pass. It's about using the pressure of a downturn to forge a more resilient future.
This image from the research just sums it all up perfectly. The key ingredients for success today, it all comes down to resilience, adaptability, and being digitally ready. These are not just nice-to-haves anymore. They are the absolute essentials for navigating modern economic uncertainty.
So we'll leave you with this one final thought. We know for a fact that recessions are cyclical. They will happen again. So the real question isn't if the next one is coming, but what are you, as an employee, as a leader, or as an organization, doing to prepare for it right now?